those moments will be lost in time. Like tears in...
I know you think I'm a sociopath, my lovely prey, I'm a cliche. Make way, I'm in my Pepsi mood. Mama needs food, how about a barbecue? For us, the bourgeoisie, so carefree. Remember when we... I don't know why you need to get by.
Something for your mind. Mind. Something for your mind. Mind. Something for your mind.
Okay, so welcome to Film Runners. It's me, Michael, with Insha and Tim.
Hi.
Hello.
My co-host Insha and our guest Tim.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think this is episode 48. It's been a long road. I can't believe we have done this many episodes together, guys.
Yeah, it feels like through 4 weeks ago.
You would never know it.
We should do a clip show just Tim of our first for the 50th one. We do a clip show, but it's only your episodes, Tim.
I like that idea.
Yeah, of course you would. But it's only like you. It isn't anything Insha I said either.
Well, think about all the things you could put in that. Like, we could recap where we came up with that movie. Good Samaritan.
The only good thing we've ever done. It's fun. Yeah, the clip show is just we post Stockholm again.
All right, I have one thing to say first. This episode of Film Runners is sponsored by Enamory.com. Fine art, photography, graphic design, prints, and contemporary abstract paintings by Canadian creative couple Ashley King and Aaron Samby. Save 10% off your first order by using code RUNNERS10 at checkout.
I'm cutting that unless they
Is that
Venmo
a
me
thing?
Unless they Venmo me $10, I'm cutting it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did we get paid for that? Is that a thing that's happening now?
That is a thing that is happening. You could use that RUNNERS10 code on that website and get 10% off your order.
Oh, how lovely. That's so nice.
It's not nice. Again, I'm cutting this unless they Venmo me $10.
I will send you.
What
I
will
want
you
like a
do?
John Wick painting, please.
What?
Oh yeah, you've seen those
I want
John
a
Wick
John
paintings?
painting.
No,
Those
the
are
John-
really good. I really want
I honestly checked Enamory to see. I feel like they're keeping those because they're very cool. But I checked Enamory to see if they were up. So, yeah, go to the website. You won't find what you want, but you can go there and find other stuff. Again, that's Runners 10. Great. You know, all the shows put ads at the beginning.
Yeah.
So you know it's good.
That's exactly.
That's a
If you go to their
good reason.
website, probably tomorrow, you'll see our banner at the bottom, saying as supporters of their website. So
It's fucking insane. You like 4 episodes and you've taken it upon yourself to do this? I'm offended. Like, what if I had moral objections to that site?
Oh my god.
it's funny. We were. I was.
What if you were like, what if next episode you're like, go to Stormfront, the only alt-right message board, and if you put in Runners 1488, you'll get 10% off merchandise.
You never know who we're going to be sponsored by next week. We are taking offers, people. Send me your.
What are you doing? This is insane.
Did Aaron and Ashley talk about this only with you?
No, I confronted them.
It's so funny that it's really kind of funny that
unilaterally.
we're using this episode to kind of be like, Tim, where the hell did this come from?
That's the thing, is that I thought about it earlier today, and I said, you know what would be funny to spring on Insha and Michael? A sponsorship. So I mentioned stuff that got us a sponsorship.
Because that was such a good read, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Guarantee by episode 60 we'll be social networking it, and I'll be like,
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
It's too bad we've all seen Social Network.
So it was your pick this week, Tim?
Yeah, this week I picked Pain and Gain. It's a 2013 movie starring Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Mackie, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, where a bunch of muscle men get into the extortion business and things go horribly wrong.
Muscle man.
What else would you call those perfectly chiseled bodies of Anthony Mackie?
I don't know.
Mark Wahlberg?
Bodybuilders.
Well,
His body, yeah.
so
It's insane that you chose Anthony Mackie as your example
what?
instead of The Rock.
Yeah, I guess The Rock was all right.
The Rock. Anthony Mackie was the least beefed up of the three of them. Which is funny that his storyline is that he's the one taking steroids. But I guess that kind of makes sense, right?
Because he probably feels
inferior.
Yeah. So I've picked this movie. Michael, you've already seen it. Insha, you haven't seen it. So tell us your thoughts, your initial thoughts, Insha.
Well, no, she hadn't. She has seen it now. So saying you haven't seen it, it's like, Insha, you still didn't watch it, right? So, get your tenses right. If you're gonna be
had not
seen
have
our
seen it,
fucking
Insha, you
thing.
had not have seen it.
No. No. The answer is no. I think the answer is no.
Well, we never know.
No, I didn't. I know, no. Just never watched this before. There you go. I surprisingly really loved it. It was so funny, and I usually hate Michael Bay movies, and I was just like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've seen in 2020. Besides all the movies that I've watched.
What?
Insane.
Besides all the movies I've watched.
So it's the worst movie you've seen in 2020.
It's on the tier of the best movies I've seen in 2020.
It sounds like it was
2020's been a great year for Pain and Gain.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like it was a nice surprise. You know what I mean? It's when you expect to not like a movie and then you end up liking it. It's really awesome, right?
Yeah, because I'm I don't necessarily. I can withstand the Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I can love Anthony Mackie. I'm very always on the fence with Mark Wahlberg because he floats by for me. But I'm
he needs to
brilliant.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Wahlberg needs to be cast well.
Yes.
All the best movies that cast him are the ones that cast him as a fucking idiot, basically,
Yeah.
or a sociopath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I always
this
find
is
that
both.
he's kind of
So-
typecasted into those roles. He always takes that, he's good at it, but I always feel oh, this is just another Mark Wahlberg where he plays the same sort of character. But
I don't think so, because he tries to play a cool, qualified dude, all the movies he does with Peter Berg, or the random movies where he plays a cop or a detective or some shit. He tries to play cool,
right?
Whereas he's much better as an oaf, you know?
Yeah, I guess you're right. If he's playing the serious role, you're right. He's playing that the badass cop. But when he plays in I was thinking more of like Ted or something like that, where he's playing the idiot.
Oh yeah,
sort
Ted's
of.
a different one. But he's also I don't really like the Ted movies, but he's funny in them.
Oh yeah, and I think
so he's good in those. But I think he doesn't gravitate towards that, and probably because he doesn't want to be typecast. But I'd say his three best performances are this, Boogie Nights, and The Other Guys.
Ooh.
And he's an idiot in all three of them, and he knocks him out of the park.
Absolutely. I think
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think of the three, my favorite is The Rock. I think he plays that character so well.
Yeah, we can get into it more later, but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think he's easily the best of the three. three main guys.
Insha, we got your thoughts. Michael, I think we already know that you already liked this movie, right? You've seen it before, and you had already liked it.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
The only thing
I'm not a Michael Bay hater. I think I like about half his movies and dislike the other half. Pretty average for a director, you know? But I think this is definitely like top tier. Maybe The Rock is better, and maybe Bad Boys, but other than that, I think this might be my favorite one.
Yep. The only thing I wanted to say before we move on to breaking it down was that I think a lot of critics and like a lot of audience people hate this movie, which is surprising that all three of us really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's mixed because of the reason why Insha was so like avoidant of it for 7 years, because it's a Michael Bay movie, you know.
Right.
And I think he's got a reputation. He's a very aesthetically unappealing if you don't vibe with it, you know. When you're not on the same wavelength as what he's doing, it's like almost nauseating, right?
Yeah, because it's like the colors are, I don't know how to properly say it. It's just like,
it's sickening. It's almost sickening.
It's like everything's way too just like much, and it's kind of just like, I don't want to be in this world anymore. Please take me out. But like with this, I'm like, everything's great.
It's like it like clicks with it, because that's like the story he's telling is a disgusting but also very slick, like I mean, I want to talk more in a bit about how the American dream is very much a huge aspect of this, and it makes it seem so vulgar and twisted, which it is. Like the American dream that these people are chasing, right? And I think those are the kind of films he actually makes. Like, he has a very complicated relationship, I think, with America in general and all that it stands for. There are things he clearly loves about it, like cool cars and, you know, the troops and cool gadgets and shit.
And American flags everywhere.
Yeah, he loves American flags. Exactly. Like, all the things America has. But there are aspects of it that he seems to, like, think are so weird and like puts on display in such odd ways that have to be purposeful, like self-help gurus. Like, he clearly thinks are bullshit. Other stuff from other movies too, like the Transformers movies are full of weird things. Like, he literally has the villain in 3 or 4 or something turn into like a My Little Pony. And, like, in one of them, an Xbox turns into, like, a villain or something. Like,
that was the second one where the Xbox comes alive and goes across.
Yeah, he's got, like, weird little tidbits that are, like, he's clearly, like, criticizing it as a whole. And he hates, like, companies and bureaucrats and shit. Or it comes across like that in his movies. I don't know if he himself gives a shit, but...
Right.
It's weird. It's a complicated relationship that, like, sometimes works, like in this movie, and sometimes doesn't, like in several other movies he's made.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things you said earlier about movies being sickening that he makes, the one I think about is, I think it's the second Transformers, where the one scene I always remember is them fighting in the woods, like the robots fighting in the woods, and it's like metal on metal where you can't even figure out what's going on. Like, I immediately have to turn that movie off or like fast forward, because I just like, no, I'm done. But I'm not a Michael Bay hater either. Like, I love Bad Boys.
Yeah, the Bad Boys movies and The Rock are great.
Yep.
I like Transformers 3 is actually like really good. You're right, 2 is dreadful. It's really bad.
No.
2 is the worst.
But this one is so back to Pain and Gain. I really like, he does a lot of weird, I don't want to say like from bottom up shots in this that I really think are pretty cool. Like, at the very beginning, like Mark Wahlberg's doing his crunches, and there's that camera.
You mean like low angle?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's doing that a lot, and then there's another one. Like, a lot of the times when they're driving, they have that low angle pointing up shot.
I noticed it a lot at the beginning, and then I meant to like keep track because I was like, oh, when he switches it up, it's got to mean something. And then I got lost in the movie and totally forgot to like focus on his shot choices. But yeah, they're
The one-
like he does it a lot for The Rock. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you twice.
No. It's like the one that works the best is like when The Rock and Mark Wahlberg are talking, and then like that Dutch angle plus the shooting, like the low angle shooting up, kind of works for the both of them because they're both so big.
Yeah. It's so funny too. Just a little tidbit about The Rock's character. It's fucking hilarious that he's constantly carrying around a skateboard and we never see him actually riding it.
I wrote that down. It's Rock with a skateboard. It's so cool.
We see like I think only one scene starts with him like popping it up into his hands or whatever, but we never see him actually like riding it because it must look insane. It must look ridiculous.
I think what you're saying is that Rock does not know how to ride a skateboard, and that's why they did.
He almost certainly doesn't. I can't imagine him stepping on one without a brake. They couldn't afford to reinforce a skateboard, so they were like, no. It's so funny too when this movie came out. Like it was supposed to be because it was like a true crime story and like sort of out of Michael Bay's wheelhouse. It was supposed to be his version of like an indie movie, and this is and it is. But it's so funny that this is Michael Bay's version of an indie movie. There's still like fucking explosions and speedboats, and, like so much action and shit.
And you got like at the time, probably like two of the biggest stars in Mark Wahlberg and The Rock.
Yeah, so funny.
There was another really cool shot at the beginning. We had the bottom up ones, but then there's a shot coming through.
Can we say low angle? We established
bottom up.
low angle. So, because bottom up just sounds like a shot of their full body.
We get a lot of those.
I mean,
we do get a lot of those, but that's not what we do.
There's one where it comes like in Mark Wahlberg is in his apartment, and like the camera comes through the fan, like that slow one.
yeah.
There's another.
Speaking of shot choices, it's interesting later on when they're doing their second crime, basically, the one that like floats around the apartment and circles it.
Loved that.
Yeah,
it's really funny because it's like that shot is like not famously, I guess, but it was used in Bad Boys 2 when Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are having like a shootout with Haitians or something, and the camera keeps spinning around to their side of the wall and then around to the other side and back around several times. So I noticed it in this one, and I was like, oh, he must just really like that shot. He's like, oh, it's cool to think of it going through this little hole and then swinging back around. But in this, it like really added to the tension of it with like the loud music and the fucking coked up Rock doing push-ups in one room and then this argument happening in another one. It was good. People may not like his movies or even the editing of his movies, and especially they hate his content, but like he can direct a scene to look good, you know?
Yeah. And I think he did that a lot in this movie. Like I just, the whole time I was thinking, this is really, like he does a lot of cool things with the camera in this movie. I thought like that was one of them.
Yeah.
And I think he like took the piss out of his reputation specifically during some of the scenes, because when they're trying to kill Tony Shalhoub and they like blow up the car and then they're walking away, there's a cool guy who's walking away from the explosion shot, and then Tony Shalhoub survived, and then they have to do that extremely brutal scene where they force The Rock to run over his head.
Oh no. I just wanted to say how bad I felt about The Rock's character the entire movie. Like it just made me feel terrible. That included where he runs over him and Mark Wahlberg says, "Yeah, you did it. You killed a man." And he's like, "No, we did it." He's like, "No.
Yeah.
You killed him."
No, you did it. He's like, "But it's a good thing. Tell him it's a good thing." And Anthony Mackie's like, "It's a good thing."
Yeah.
So good. So the basic layout is that these three down on their luck losers want to get money, so they kidnap a guy to like force him to sign over all his shit to them, and then they decide to kill him, but he survives, and the sort of twist on it is that no one actually believes this guy because he's kind of a douchebag and like shady, so they like get away with it, right?
Kind of.
For a while.
Yeah.
But then they're fuck ups, so they need to like do it again. But yeah, we should talk about The Rock, because I agree with Tim in that he's he's
Easily
the
one
best
of the best
three.
characters.
He really is. He does such a really good job of showing, like Paul Doyle, right? Is his character's
Yep.
name? Of showing like Paul as, you know, recovered and trying to do his best. But then once they make the money and once he's like bullied into doing this, because he's dumb, like they're all dumb.
Yep.
But once he's like bullied into doing this, he and gets all coked up, it's like a totally different character. But in that you can see the same guy in two totally different modes. Like he does a really good job of showing coked up Paul and like trying to do better Paul.
Yeah. No, absolutely. He switches on a dime, basically, and where he, you know, becomes much more ruthless when he's, you know, trying to rob the bank at that one point.
Yeah, which is the funniest fucking part. when he runs into the hairdressers because his shitty plan was just knock out a security guard and steal the bags of money. And then he runs into a hairdresser's and he's like just a little off the top or whatever, just a little trim. And it's fucking bald ass The Rock.
Yeah. I did that scene too. I wrote down, just like today, cops shoot at an unarmed man running away from them. Because he's swimming in the water, and all the cops are just like trying to blast him.
It is insane because all he did at that point was steal money, which sure go after him, and then he did rip off one of those big plastic domes in a hairdresser's. I don't know what they call them, and then he beat a couple cops with it, and then he was swimming away, and they unloaded on us.
Right?
Yeah, but they go hard in Florida, I guess, with the.
I do love this scene with him, and he's laying on like the, I don't know what they're called. It's like the fucking I lay down and then the sun tans me kind of bed thing. I don't know what that's called.
Tanning bed?
No, it's not the tanning bed, but it's like outside. That thing. It was when he
lawn
was
Like
chair?
a recliner, like a.
Sure. It was like when he was like super duper drunk and he was trying to get the code. And he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yet.
I'm ready with the paper.
You wrote it down wrong.
And then he gave the dog his toe to put in his mouth and just leave it in there. I like cried, laughed because it was just like, this is so fucking. I love The Rock so much and I'm not supposed to.
Oh no, his comedic timing in this movie and his like deadpan delivery of all those lines throughout the entire film is just brilliant.
One of the funniest parts, and I specifically remember it from like the first trailer for the movie, was when after they like quickly eat through all their money from the first thing, they try to like do the exact same thing to a porn producer and his wife, but they end up fucking it up and killing them. So when Mark Wahlberg is trying to think about what to do,
calm the fuck down. I gotta get a pump.
Yeah, take a moment. That's it. That's good. Listen, Danny, I know what it's like to think you killed somebody. And it hurts. I mean, you got Jesus and the devil swirling. That's it, get it. Jesus, devil swirling all up in your head. I was lucky because my guy lived. So you must really feel like shit.
it's so like perfectly timed, and I laugh every time. Or when he's like, when Tony Shalhoub tries to escape and he knocks him out, and then he's like,
Damn it! Why'd you make me do that to you, Victor? I have responsibilities! Jesus Christ himself has blessed me with many gifts. One of them is knocking someone the fuck out! Pepe, you okay? Pepe? It's Eldad.
yeah, it's just fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And they're all three of them are really funny.
Yeah.
But he's just, he knocks it out of the park.
Absolutely.
It's maybe, I don't know. I love Hobbs from the perfect Fast and Furious series. But I think this or Southland Tales, probably this is his best acting I've ever seen him do.
Why is Southland Tales?
Because he's great in that too. I love Southland Tales.
I mean, he is, but at the same time, why do we remember that movie so much?
Because I love that movie.
I've never seen it, so
Oh, we can redo it.
No.
We can redo
No.
it. That's the rule. That is the rule. We can. There's no rule. There's no rule that says we can't redo a movie if one of us hasn't seen it.
You know what? He's really good in Jumanji, in the Jumanji.
He is good at that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah,
you
he's a-
listen
I mean,
to
he's a
our
good actor.
episode Wait, did you listen to our episodes of Southland Tales?
I did. I think. Yeah, I must have.
You're like, it was good, but that Billy character probably should have been a Tim. All right, now for our segment, let's go to the notes because we've run out of what to say naturally.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you got?
My first note. No, I'm going.
All right.
My first note, because this is based on what we were literally just talking about. My first note is that The Rock's voiceover is extremely entertaining, and it made me realize it was probably like, because he's so used to cutting like promos during wrestling or whatever, that he's just so good at that. Like when he talks, I can't even remember what he says, but when he's talking about how
Know why habit rhymes with rabbit? Because your whole life disappears down a bunny hole. While you grow long, sensitive ears to better hear the sound of sirens coming for you.
yeah, and it's so stupid because then later he says it, and then you grow big long ears to hear the law coming around the corner, and it's like it's a dumb line, but he sells it because he's like The Rock and he can just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I literally have that written down because I was like, that's a cool line. Like, what does he do?
Yeah, he kills it.
Yeah. I like the scenes in the middle too, where it shows Mark Wahlberg kind of like integrating himself with the community. That when he steals Tony Shalhoub's home, and like he's playing basketball with the kids, and he's like going on speedboats and stuff. In that,
when he's like playing basketball with the kids, and he's like, "Don't you eyeball me, son? I see your mom driving up and down this block. I'll be a stepdad in 10 minutes or in a week or whatever." Yeah.
But also in this, he breaks the rule where he dunks on the kid and he says, "Oh, does it hurt? That's called pain and gain. Don't be a little bitch," or whatever.
Yeah, I have that in my notes to ask you what you thought of it. Where does that rank on the scale from Face Off, which is a 0, to John Wick, which is a 10? No, John Wick, which is a 0, and Face Off, which is a 10.
Yeah, that is a 6.
That's incredibly high. This is a movie about bodybuilders, and you didn't expect them to say pain and gain?
Seriously.
Your scale's all fucking out of whack. So it's like, literally, unless the movie's name... You're the reason why they named that John Carter movie John Carter instead of John Carter of Mars. No creativity. They can't name anything after anything cool.
The reason why I didn't
you'll
rank
fuck
higher
with
is
them.
because the articles in the that were written about this were called Pain and Gain.
So it should be ranked even higher. You're a piece of shit. Insane. It's an adaptation.
It is. You know what?
Can I answer?
I was thinking about this the other day. This is our 3rd or 4th. Yeah, out of the 5 that we have done, the 4 that we have done so far, 3 of them have been based on true stories.
Yeah, don't talk about the secret 5th one.
Can I ask a question?
No. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do it anyway. So John Wick as a 0, and what was Face Off as a 10?
Yeah, he hates Face Off.
What's your middle? Is this your middle for like?
No, this is a 6.
No, this was a 6. This is worse than the middle.
Oh, so what's your middle?
It would be any movie. Oh no.
Like Titanic?
No, that would be John Wick.
What am I making?
That'd be a 0.
Yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I was like, oh, like Hitch, but then I was just like,
That's his name. That's a John Wick.
That's a John Wick.
That
No,
would be
that's
a
a
0
0.
or a 1. It would be... Actually, Hitch would be worse than John Wick because they clearly made up Hitch strictly for the double entendre of, like, him
That's right.
getting
Yeah,
people
no one's
into a relationship. you
no
know?
one's named John Hitch.
So that would be like a 2, probably, right?
Yeah, like nobody's named John Hitch. Whatever
I
Will
think
Smith's character's
isn't he-
name is in that. I assume it's John.
Isn't he named, like... Is it short for, like, Hitchcock or something? Although he played a guy named Hancock. What are you doing, Will Smith? Hold on, I'm looking up Hitch to see what his character's name is. But so you think of your 5. No, not Hitchcock. Fuck.
So
What's
like,
your 5, Tim?
I'm just trying to.
Your scale sucks is what I'm saying. Alex Hitchens.
Oh, that's bad. That's a bad name.
Yeah.
Alec.
Alex Hitch.
What about,
Hitch-
Oh, you know what? Okay,
What about, like-
you know what? Here it is. Number 5, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. I
when they
guess
say
you're
like
right because
bad
they didn't
boys for
have to
life
say
and
it.
stuff like that.
Well, I think
Or when they
But
sing
you
a song.
because yeah, why is it not egregious? Is it because you think they named the movie after that part because they were so funny?
I think they named the movie after, because I think they named the movie after the song, and
And it's not a pun, like it's not
well, it is.
because you don't like Face Off specifically because the movie's about taking their faces off, and then he also says Face Off. Whereas Bad Boys, it's just named after that because they're cool guys and they also sing the Bad Boys song.
Right.
Yeah. So if it's a pun, it's worse.
Oh, it's much worse.
Also, then that's
I hate you, Scale.
then that's
We don't need to go into the
sex.
scale. We'll figure this scale out over the next 48 episodes.
You have 4 weeks to figure out your scale. If the scale's so important and you want us to keep doing it, you need to figure it out. You had also it's that bit from I Think You Should Leave. He's like, you had the whole summer to figure out your part. You can't break his laptop. So funny.
We haven't talked about Ed Harris in this movie yet. He plays a character.
He's so cool. Like it must have been. I mean, he's just cool in it, and it must have been really easy for him because he just gets to say wise shit and like be the person the audience can be like. Finally, like some because I can't remember the exact line where he's like, "You're a hard victim to like" or something or to believe.
Yeah,
or
you're.
whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I had it, but I don't. Yeah, but when he's talking to
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub about, yeah, you're a hard victim.
Shalhoub.
Shalhoub.
It's
Shalhoub.
Shalhoub. Yeah, it's because he's it's like we spent an hour or over an hour with total idiots or total assholes, and then we finally get like a fucking normal guy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this is bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, thank you, Ed Harris, yes.
Because even we get the cop that originally talked to Tony Shalhoub and like they like just don't believe him either, and they're kind of dicks about it too, right?
They are, yeah. Everyone's an asshole in this.
But yeah, the only other thing I have written down about Ed Harris is that there's a lot of fucking glass in his house. Like the walls were glass, and his table was made of glass.
Ed Harris can do whatever he wants, honestly.
You're right; it looked cool, but
His wife seemed cool too.
Sissy's the best.
Yeah, she was neat.
So
When
supportive.
she was reading out the message that Tony Shalhoub's character left. Yeah, she was great.
The only note I have about Ed Harris is 9 hearts next to his name.
Yeah, he's just great. I mean, it's Ed Harris. Yeah, I love him and everything.
Yeah.
He's I will say he's part of, not him specifically, but it reminded me that maybe the one part of the movie I'd say could have been cut is Mark Wahlberg getting away and going to the Bahamas or whatever to get more of Shalhoub's money. Like, he could have been caught when it cut back to him trying to escape from the beginning.
right.
And then cut right to like the courtroom shit. Like, it seemed like an unnecessary action bit or whatever to have Mark Wahlberg and Ed Harris meet, kind of, other than them at the gym. But like to have like a conclusion to that, it seemed like a little tagged on because that part's like totally fake.
No, that part isn't fake. They actually caught.
Yeah, it is.
No, they caught Lugo in the Bahamas, didn't they? Like real life Lugo.
I think he means like them meeting.
No, but yeah, like Ed Harris, like Ed Dubois or whatever, didn't shoot him in the leg.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. But I would think
Right,
that
like-
I was thinking that maybe that's the reason why they added it in. And you're right, it's it's based on a true story. You don't have to go to the law. But they did find him and arrest him in the Bahamas. So they were maybe they were thinking, oh okay, we should have some
parts
scene
to
in
just
it.
make it real. I guess maybe, but yeah, I guess maybe the fact that like Ed Harris specifically was there and then he specifically shot him.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of
then
gives like
brought
the
him back.
Bahamas cops in there and let them do something,
Yeah.
and then bring him back to the United States and just arrest him. Like that.
Yeah,
would-
quick minute-long scene of him being easily caught in the Bahamas would have covered it. Like, it seemed tacked on. Because, like, they left out other stuff, and even though it stuck, like, pretty close to the actual events, they left out a couple of other things that could have been cool. So, I mean, I don't know. That's the only
Well, like
thing.
what?
Like, everything else, I think, is pretty much perfect. Well, okay,
You might as well go into
it. The Tony Shalhoub's character, one of the craziest things I remember when I was reading the articles was after the idiots are arrested and they're, like, tried, at their sentencing, his character came in and, like, talked about his harrowing experience and shit. I say character, the real guy he's based on. At the sentencing hearing, and then when he was leaving, he got arrested by the feds for fraud. He did, like, Medicare fraud or some shit. And he got busted, like, immediately after. They just waited until he was done, like, nailing this trial down. And then they busted him. And he ended up being sentenced to, like, I don't know, 20 or 40 months in jail or whatever. But in another weird turn of events, the judge from the Sun Jim Gang trial spoke as a character witness for the Shalhoub character at his trial because he was so sort of moved and, like, horrified by the events of this thing, which is why he got, like, the federal minimum sentence instead of something crazy.
Right.
But it seemed like such a weird twist that they would have included where, like, oh, also this character we've shown to be an asshole
Was also an
got
asshole.
busted too. Yeah. But I feel like maybe they were like, no, out of even though they changed the name out of respect, they were like, maybe we'll leave that part off and just have him go through all the horrible shit he went through in this.
Yeah.
They kind of justified it enough to make him look like an asshole throughout the film, if that makes any sense. Like, even like the beginning part of him just being a gym brat, and then him kind of manipulating The Rock. It was kind of just like you saw him being an asshole towards everybody, but then you don't have to see that anymore. But I do get what you mean. But I think you see enough of him being an asshole throughout the film that he's not believed, and he's not, like, I don't know how to properly say it. Like, he's not believed. Everybody thinks he's an asshole. Nobody called the cops in order to report him missing, which sucks.
Yeah, you mean, so, like, story-wise, his comeuppance was the fact that he survived that, but nobody believed him, and these people were running around. Yeah, you're right.
Like,
So maybe they thought
cared.
story-wise, it would be a hat on a hat to be like, also he got arrested for another thing. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree in that they didn't need to add it, but it's like, it's such a weird,
It's such a
like,
weird thing
case
not to
that
add,
it's
yeah.
another weird moment that it's funny that they didn't add it. But I do love that they add the part where it was the first trial where a body was identified by the serial numbers on the breast implants.
Right, yeah.
Which is, like, 100% true. It's funny when they pop up the thing where it's like, remember, this is based on a true story. Because they do some fucked up shit. Like when they're trying to get rid of the body and The Rock is
Grilling the hands.
Like, grilling the hands, trying to burn them, and he's, like, flipping them over and shit. But also, they literally, in real life, they returned a chainsaw for not working properly. Like, that was a totally true thing as well. It's so fucking crazy.
Insane.
Yeah. It's like, this is almost like Michael Bay's version of a Coen Brothers movie.
You know what? I did hear that Michael Bay wanted to make this like Fargo. Like, this was his Fargo.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is 100% Michael Bay's brain, like, reiterating a Fargo-type story.
Right.
For sure. Because I could see so many other directors doing the exact same story in such completely different ways. But this is the definitive version of a Michael Bay of this story, and it's the best version. Like, I can't imagine a better version, because it needs to be glossy and sun-kissed and garish and, like, neon and explosions and glistening bodies and just
and like
stupid gags.
Yeah, I mean, it's got everything. It's got the action, it's got comedy, it's got the crime drama. It's he does a really good job at it.
Yeah, he really does. But there's also a weird thing where, like, a lot of actors who were in Coen Brothers movies are in Michael Bay movies. like the Transformers films are full of people like John Turturro, Francis McDormand, John Malkovich, and then other movies have like Steve Buscemi, Peter Stormare. It's weird. They share, and the Adam Sandler movies share several actors.
Steve
There's a
Buscemi
weird
is
trifecta there.
is in a lot of Adam Sandler's movies.
Yeah, there's a weird trifecta where like those three types of movies, very different from each other, all attract similar actors, which is odd.
So is there some sort of universe in which all of these...
Like Mr. Deeds and Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, take place in the same universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And, I don't know, A Serious Man. They're all part of the same... Yeah, maybe the Sandler-Cohen-Bay verse.
That's right.
I mean...
Where Mr. Pink just decides to grow up and go to a...
Well, that's Tarantino. That's a totally
Oh, yeah,
different...
you're right. Whoops.
Oops.
Oopsies.
I mean, Burn After Reading and this, the gems.
They do. They're also very similar.
Yeah.
Almost Burn After Reading is almost the closest a Coen Brothers movies could look to a Michael Bay movie, which is still it's still fucking miles and miles apart. But you're right in that there are a lot of very stupid characters, but there's also like some action and some intrigue and shit. And so, yeah, that's funny. I love at the beginning, go back to the beginning, just Anthony Mackie's character just being totally in awe of The Rock's size.
Yeah, how much protein?
Like there's at least
how much protein you get, buddy?
Yeah, so good. The breast milk conversation.
Oh yeah.
You ever suck a pregnant woman's titty?
Yeah.
Titty brother.
Yeah, we're gonna be breast buddies.
Breast buddy.
I wrote that note. We could be breast buddies, and I forgot what it was about until we talked about this. I was like, why did I write this down for?
Also,
And I like
the strip club was a lot.
there's a lot
Yeah,
to-
yeah, that was a little.
It was oppressive. It was too much.
It was like he wanted to put in a scene with titties because like we have this one scene at the strip club where there's a lot of tits.
Well,
everywhere.
we have a couple scenes, and one of the side characters is a stripper, so this isn't as gratuitous as other films.
No, but this is the only scene in the entire.
One scene was it's a lot. Like it's just it's too
and it's the
much.
only scene it's only the only scene in the entire movie with nudity in it. So that like it's like he had to cram it all into one scene just to get it all out there, and then it was over with. Like, you know, America has bars that are quote unquote strip clubs where you don't get naked, right?
Yeah, but that scene also didn't introduce what's her name?
But she wasn't naked also, so it's like
No.
I don't want this to be
Serena.
I loved her. I loved how dumb she was.
Yeah, Serena was a fucking idiot, but she was great.
Yeah.
All she wanted was to be a movie star, and that was in a trunk for him.
She seemed, yeah, exactly. She struggled hard to get to America, and then she didn't, she seemed not confident, but she seemed okay with who she was.
The word is confident. It's fine.
I guess so. But speaking of that scene, though, it's really funny when they're outside of the strip club afterwards, and they're talking by the car, and they're trying to convince The Rock to, like, go in on the plan. And Mark Wahlberg's like, it's like Johnny Woo said, blah, blah, blah. And then The Rock's like, I don't know anything about an Asian guy. And another, like, amazing line delivery I wrote down was after, like, I think 2 or 3 scenes in a row where Mark Wahlberg had, like, the signatures from Tony Shalhoub after torturing him to, like, sign his shit over. And he was trying to get it, like, to go through, but the banker was like, oh, it needs to be, like, notarized. You can bring him here, blah, blah, blah. And then he finds out his boss used to be a notary, and he's trying to get... He's like, oh, can I just, like, borrow your stamp? And he's like, I can't do that. And then there's, like, a beat, and then he's like...
You know, I got a stamp.
Can I borrow it?
No, you can't borrow my stamp. That's sacred.
What the fuck are notaries, man?
And it's been so long since he's, like, heard about notaries. But he just now, like, lost, he was at his edge, and he was like, I don't even know what the fuck a notary is. It's so good.
One of the other things I wrote down, and I think I remember thinking this same thought back in 2013 when I first watched this, but it came up again. Star 69 is such a 90s thing to get out of a situation, right?
It really is,
like
yeah.
that's what a plot device that you never see nowadays.
Yeah, the last time I remember it, other than this, was the last time I watched Scream 2. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar's character is being harassed, and her like sorority sister's like, just Star 69 his ass. That was the last. I was like, oh yeah, that existed.
Right? Yeah. So, and I think when I watched it the first time, I was like, oh, that's funny, Star 69. I forgot about that. So 7 years later, we still forgot. I think I still forgot about it.
Yeah, I forgot too. But that's like, it's so funny that like, that was a legitimately clever thing for Mark Wahlberg's character to have thought of, because Shaloub's character was so stupid to have called... Yeah, I mean, even Ed Harris calls him out, and it's like, you never call the fucking criminals that you're after.
Yeah.
But it was like, he was thinking quick on his feet for a total moron.
One thing I really liked is that there was like 6 voiceover narrations.
Yeah, I like that it jumped around a lot, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like used to seeing maybe like 2, 3, 4 at the most, but it's like all 6 characters kind of had like their moment to shine, even though they said absolutely stupid things. It was good for their character in general, and it was weird to just hear, because like once Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, like once he talked, I was like, oh, new character voice, and then I had to change my note every single time. I'm just like 4 character voices, 5 character voices, 6 character voices.
Yeah, it's very frenetic. I like it, because it's like, I love, for some reason it always gets me, like, we've talked about it, the scene in Casino when it suddenly switches over to Frank Vincent having voiceover for like 2 lines. I'm like, oh my god! Scorsese, the master, the genius. Mwah, mwah. And then Michael Bay's like, fuck you, 6 people. So good. But also, I mean, yeah, I will say Scorsese's the best at it, because he knows exactly who and what to do a voiceover of. Like, he's the best. He's the voiceover king, as far as I'm concerned. He does so much with voiceover that's amazing. But yeah, this is great, because it's snippets, and it's interesting, and it keeps it flying really fast.
Yeah. Like with the I think especially like with the editing, that was actually really good in the film, plus the camera work, plus the dialogue. It just kept it, especially like when you get on like The Rock's character and he's doing a voiceover as he's like freaking out in a cocaine fit. It's perfect.
When he's in that fucking like billowy silk blouse and he's freaking out that he's out of money and coke, and he's contemplating like jumping off the balcony, it's so dramatic.
There's another thing that he used a lot in this, that slow motion. No, that slow motion jump, like that freeze frame jump sort of device, scene, whatever you want to call it. That happened like 3 times where someone is jumping and he like freeze frames on them. Yeah. I remember that happened with Mark Wahlberg getting hit by the car. It happened with The Rock there.
Mm-hmm. I think 2 of the scenes are extremely unsettling. The attempted murder with Tony Shalhoub when they try to back up over his head. Yep. And then the actual like murders of the porn producer and his wife are they're like 2 different types of unsettling, because the Shalhoub one was kind of slow and creepy and you felt bad for The Rock and shit, and the other one was just really fast paced and kind of like a nightmare. Yeah, he did a good job, because they seemed kind of out of his wheelhouse, but I thought he did a good job of doing that.
Yeah, and I think even the dismembering part, like, you know, past the killing, but also the dismember, like, when Mark Wahlberg swings the axe on the hand. Like I just ugh.
Disgusting.
Yep.
Disgusting.
But it's funny too because he almost chops Anthony Mackie's fingers off.
It is funny when Anthony Mackie's like, ugh, and he's like, what do you mean, I almost cut your fingers off. So funny.
This is a small thing, but I like I don't know where it was in the movie. I just remember looking at it and just laughing hard. It's the useacondom.com billboard.
Oh, was that at the Sun Gym during like a contest or one of the?
It was just in the background at some point in the movie, and I just started.
Was it in the sex shop warehouse?
No, it was outside. It was on a billboard. I have to find it and send it to you both. But it was
okay.
It was just useacondom.com.
Did you go to the website?
Well, it was the 90s. People were still,
No.
I mean, we can't get people to wear a fucking mask. You think people are going to wear condoms in the 90s? Fuck off.
I came up with a game if you guys want to play one.
Tim, the level of excitement I reached. Yes.
Okay. This game is going to be called Producer Pain or Gain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a...
Wait, what's it called?
I already hate this.
Producer Pain or Gain.
Producer Pain or Gain.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the name of a movie, and you have to tell me whether it was a producer pain because they lost money or a producer gain because it made money at the box office.
A producer pain or a producer gain. Shut the fuck up.
First movie is going to be Mars Needs Moms, a 2011 Disney 3D computer animated science fiction adventure film based on Berkeley Breath's book of the same title. Was it a gain or a pain?
Who goes first?
Insha goes first.
That was a pain. That was a pain.
Michael?
Yeah, that was a pain. And I know this specifically because of a movie I mentioned earlier. John Carter was originally going to be called John Carter of Mars, but because Mars Needs Mom bombed so bad, they were like, oh, it must be because Mars was in the title, and they made them change it to John Carter.
Yeah, that was a low ball for the first question. For a bonus point, you guys get 1 point each. For a bonus point, within $5 million, how much money did this movie lose?
Lose? Oh, interesting.
Oh.
Insha, you go first.
Yep.
Do we get to know how much they spent on it?
I will. Oh, sure. They spent $150 million.
Oh no. 35. No.
Michael?
90 mil.
Michael's closer, but none of you get the point. It lost $110 million.
What? I was closest without going over. Oh, within 5 years.
Within $5 million.
Within 5.
All right.
I had Price is Right rules.
That's right.
Right.
All right, 2 points each. Michael, your next movie, you go first, is A Wonderful Life. Was it a pain or a gain?
It's a Wonderful Life.
The 1946 Christmas movie starring James Stewart and Donna Reed.
Let Insha go first.
Nope. She went first on the last one.
Okay. Well, then I will say it is a pain. And I would also add, I think it took something like 20 or 40 years for it to actually make its money back. So I would say pain.
Insha?
I would also say the same thing. It's a pain. I remember learning that in school. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys are incorrect. It's a gain.
No, it isn't.
According to Wikipedia, it is a gain. The budget, if you want to guess, the budget was $3.18 million. If you want to say, do you guys want to guess how much it made at the box office?
No, but hold on. I've got an issue with the game immediately.
Because you think it's you think.
There's no time span. There's no time span at all. So it's like, who the fuck knows if Mars Needs Mom is a fucking pain?
I'm giving you the money
because it hasn't been 80 years since that came out. So.
I'm giving you the box office numbers as according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, the box office number. Yeah. First run.
I'm giving you the box office numbers as per Wikipedia.
No, it took like 40 years. I hate you so much.
I don't think that's right either. I'm sorry.
No, you're wrong.
Wow.
He's wrong. It's famously a bomb.
Yeah.
It's a famously a bomb because it only made $3.3 million, so it barely broke even.
No, it didn't break even.
I'm telling you, it did.
It
That's
didn't.
not.
We'll take this up later, but okay. Our third one.
The film recorded a loss of $525,000 at the box office for RKO.
Yeah. We'll figure this one out later. Third movie is Hellboy, the 2019 version. It's the superhero movie based on the Dark Horse comics. Insha, you go first. Was it a pain or a gain?
Shit. I want to say that was a. Fuck. That one's hard because everybody was so fucking excited about it. A pain.
Michael?
Yeah, pain.
You guys are both right. You both get a point. It is a pain.
Wait. Let us get the bonus point.
I was going to say, for the bonus point, how much, within $5 million, how much did it lose? Insha.
What was the budget?
$50 million. Insha?
I feel like that had to lose like a good like $7 or $8 million.
Michael?
I'm going to say it lost. You said the budget was 50?
Yep.
I'm going to say 30.
Oh, it lost 30?
Yeah.
Oh, Insha's going to be correct. It only lost $5 million, $5.3 million. So it was, but it was a pain. All right, we're at 3-2 for Insha. So our next film, Blade Runner. Was it the 1982 sci-fi film directed by Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford? Was it a pain or a gain, Michael?
Pain.
Insha?
Gain.
It was a gain. With a $30 million budget, how much did it gain? Insha. Or was this Insha one? No, this is Michael one. Michael.
I don't know. How much did it gain?
Yes.
5 million.
Insha?
10.
11.5. It gained $11.5 million. So Insha, you get the point because you're within $5 million. Next, we got 3 left. The next one is The Master, the 2012 drama about cults starring Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix. I think we're on to Insha.
Yes. I want to say a pain.
Michael?
Yeah, it's a pain.
You're right. It is a pain. With a $32 million budget, how much did it lose?
32 million, you said?
32 million. Insha?
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Oh, 5 mil, maybe.
Michael?
6 mil.
You'll both get the point on this one.
It's such a small number.
It is. It only lost
32 million. That's peanuts.
It only lost $3.7 million.
I feel like Philip Seymour Philip Seymour Hoffman audience won't let it lose money. And
PSH Hive. Yeah. PS Hive.
And Paul Thomas Anderson won't let it lose money, so...
well, it still did. It lost money.
No, I feel like it probably gained the money back when people found out that it was really good.
Yeah. That's why I think Tim's wrong about It's a Wonderful Life, but you might be right about Blade Runner and that it's just the fiction of like, oh, a movie has to make double its budget for it to be profitable has seeped into the consciousness, so that I always think it's
a
like
bomb.
A loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just barely broke even or whatever, but it's still good.
That's right.
Did you have another one?
We have 2 more left.
Oh my god! So I'm still in the game. What's the score?
I got 6-4 for Insha. So you got.
Yeah,
we're in the game.
I'm still in it.
All right. Ali, the 2001 biographical sports drama film starring Will Smith as Muhammad Ali. I think we're at
Muhammad Ali. I think it's
Michael.
Is it me? I have no fucking clue. Are you kidding me?
Michael, is it a pain or a gain? Was Ali a pain or a gain? Stars Will Smith.
Are we allowed to have the budget beforehand?
No.
I feel
sure.
like you know this, dude.
It was an Oscar nominee and shit. I guess.
Does that matter?
I'm gonna say game. Ugh.
Insha, was it a pain or a gain?
It's a pain.
Oh, you're right. It is a pain. With a $107 million budget.
Oh, that's too much budget for a little boxing movie.
How much did it lose, Michael?
30 million.
Insha.
Like 10. Oh no, I can't do estimates, right?
I'm giving you a $5 million. I'm giving you a $5
$5
million buffer, so your estimate had better be within a 5. You got $10 million either way.
10 million.
All right, you both. It lost $20 million. $107 million budget, $87 million at the box office. All right, for double the points, Mike.
Yeah.
We're at 7-4. Our last movie is Playback, a 2012
Playback.
Playback, a 2012 horror film directed and written by Michael A. Nichols, starring Christian Slater.
Is this a theatrical release?
It was. Is it a pain or a gain, Insha?
Wait.
That movie was not good.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Oh! Was it a pain or a gain?
It was a pain, dude.
To watch, or you think budget-wise?
Both.
Michael?
What did she say?
She said it was a pain.
I'm gonna say gain just because I've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a pain with a $7.5 million budget. Insha, how much did this movie lose?
I swear to God, it probably lost like a lot of money. It was not great. I'm gonna say like. Can you wait? It was 7.5 million.
Correct.
Can you lose like $50 million out of a
Negative. Yeah. They had to give so many refunds. They accidentally gave too much.
I'm gonna say that.
All right, Michael.
7 million.
If you would have said $7.5 million, you'd be correct. At the box office, this movie made $264.
Hell yeah.
It was one of the lowest grossing films of all time. Of the list that I was looking at, it was the only one with an actor that I recognized, so that's why I picked it.
There's a famous one with Katherine Heigl, I think, called Something Road or something. I don't know. I can't remember the name of it, but I think Katherine Heigl's in one that made, like, literally, they just had an obligation to, like, play it in a theater one time, so they did, and it made, like, a couple $100 or whatever. Yeah. Fucked up.
Alrighty.
Good game, Tim.
Good work, Insha. Congratulations. Anything else we wanted to talk about Pain and Gain? I think we all think it's a hit, right? Go watch.
Yeah, I would say.
Go watch Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
Yes. Recommendations? Anybody?
Watch the Fast and the Furious movies with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in them. I don't know.
Okay. Tim?
Watch Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. Those are great. I haven't watched Bad Boys 3 yet. Did that come out?
Oh, I haven't. Yeah, Bad Boys for Life. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if that one
it.
was one of the ones that was supposed to come out and then COVID hit and then they stopped it.
I think it was in the theaters and then it went and it did well and then it went to video on demand like quickly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then watch The Other Guys with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. I was gonna say Will Smith. That's Bad Boy. Because The Rock's in that one too, and that one has one of my favorite scenes where The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson jump off the
Yeah,
jump
it's
off the building together.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I would recommend The Bling Ring and Spring Breakers, which came out, I think, in the same year. And they're in a similar genre of, like, people trying to make good on the shitty life that America offers or forces you to try to aspire to. And then also Out of Sight, which is like a version of this if you enjoyed The Criminals, if they were like good people. And read the Miami New Times article about Pain and Gain. Not about it, it was what it's based on. And it's really, really good. Like, really great reading. And those are my recommendations.
Awesome. So I think next week is going to be a Michael pick. Michael, do you have something?
Michael pick.
Classic Mike pick. What's on the docket for next week?
I was waffling between a couple, but this is as good a time as any to force myself to pick one. So, has anyone seen the movie Road Games?
Road Games.
No?
When did that come out?
All right. 1980, maybe? I don't know. But Insha hasn't seen it, so I'm picking Road Games.
Okay. I can't even Google it, so I don't even know if this is a real film. Are you talking about Roadhouse? That came up.
I'm not talking about Road.
That was an 80s
Road
movie.
Games. Oh no. 1981. Road Games. All one word.
Oh, I typed in road games? Like they're playing Monopoly on the road?
Yeah, like a game.
Oh, okay. I typed in road gains, like, you know, they were like pain and gain. And then
Oh, you just saw that Pain and Gain tip. Back on your Pain and Gain bullshit.
yeah. All right. Road game.
Yeah. Road Games.
Oh, horror film.
It's
Spooky.
really good. I would describe it as Rear Window from a Truck.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good. Underrated. So we'll see what you think. I'm excited to see what Tim thinks of it. I feel like Insha will like it. But I have no idea what Tim will think. Because so far, Tim, your movie picks have all been from the 2010s. So
Correct.
I have no idea your opinion of it. So we'll see. All right. Anyone have anything cool or fun to say to end it out, or should we just?
I think you should, just like Pain and Gain, you should end this with Gangsta's Paradise. Bleeding in.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Remember that Jeopardy? Where a guy got his points taken away because he answered the question "Gangster's Paradise," and the song's title is "Gangsta's Paradise." Like, that must be the worst thing, because it's like, I'm on fucking Jeopardy, you know I'm a nerd. Why would you do that to me?
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been staying most of the night.